There was a time when music was not just heard, but felt. A time when a young man from Gary, Indiana, captivated the world with his voice and his dance moves. This is the story of the extraordinary journey of an ordinary boy who became a music legend. He was more than an artist, he was an icon. Today, let's explore the trajectory of Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, the 8th of 10 children to Joseph and Catherine Jackson. From a very young age, Michael showed exceptional talent for music and dance. His childhood in Gary, an industrial city on the outskirts of Chicago, was marked by a mixture of economic difficulties and a fervent passion for music. His father, Joseph Walter Joe Jackson, was a former boxer and steelworker who, recognizing the musical talent of his children, decided to mold them into a musical group in the early 1960s. Initially, the group consisted of Michael's older brothers Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine. Michael's rise to stardom began when he was just 5 years old, joining his older brothers Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon to form a musical group. Under the firm guidance of his father, Joseph Jackson, the group began performing at local clubs and talent competitions. Growing up in a show business-oriented family, Michael had a strong bond with his siblings, especially during the intensely busy years of the musical group. He once said, "Well, you don't get to do things that other children get to do, like have friends and sleepovers and buddies. There was none of that for me. I didn't have any friends when I was little. My brothers were my friends." Michael's infectious energy and charisma quickly stood out, even among his talented siblings. His remarkable vocal range and exceptional dancing ability captivated audiences whenever he took the stage. The performances of the Jackson 5 began to attract the attention of figures in the music industry. The group, then known as the Jackson Brothers, began performing locally around Gary, winning small talent contests and performing at community events. In 1964, the group changed their name to the Jackson 5, and the younger brother Marlon also joined the group. The big break for the Jackson 5 came when they won an amateur talent contest at the Apollo Theater in New York in 1967. This led to an audition for Motown Records. In 1968, the Jackson 5 secured a recording contract with the legendary Motown Records. With Michael as the lead vocalist, the group released a series of successful singles, including I Want You Back ABC and The Love You Save, which topped the charts and cemented their position as one of the most popular musical groups of the time. Michael Jackson's childhood was a blend of intense dedication to music and constant pressure to achieve success. Under the strict guidance of their father, Michael and his brothers spent long hours rehearsing and honing their craft as artists. However, it was this tireless dedication that helped shape Michael Jackson into a music prodigy and a cultural icon. After years of success as a member of the Jackson 5 and later, the Jacksons, Michael Jackson decided to take a bold step in his career, embarking on a solo journey. His transition to a solo career was a crucial milestone in his evolution as an artist and led him to explore new musical horizons. By the late 1970s, Michael was determined to distance himself from the image of a child prodigy and establish himself as a mature and versatile solo artist. With the help of talented producers and a dedicated team, he immersed himself in his first solo studio album, Off the Wall, released in 1979. Off the Wall was more than just an album, it was a statement of artistic independence. The album featured an innovative blend of musical styles, including funk, disco, pop, and R&B, showcasing the breadth of Michael's talent as a singer, songwriter, and performer. With tracks like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough Rock With You and Off the Wall, the album quickly became a resounding success. In addition to its music, Off the Wall was also marked by Michael Jackson's image as a style icon. His extravagant looks and impressive dance moves, combined with his captivating voice, won over both critics and audiences. The album earned Michael his first Grammy as a solo artist and laid the groundwork for what was to come. The success of Off the Wall solidified Michael Jackson's position as an unstoppable force in the music industry. His smooth transition to a solo career proved that he was more than capable of shining on his own, while continuing the tradition of excellence that made him a star from a young age. More importantly, Off the Wall was a catalyst for what would follow in Michael Jackson's career. It was the prelude to an album that would redefine the boundaries of music and turn him into a legend. Thriller. But before Thriller, there was Off the Wall, an album that captured the essence of Michael Jackson's soul and launched him to new heights of fame and acclaim. Released in 1982, Thriller was not just an album, it was a cultural phenomenon that reverberated through the decades, leaving an indelible legacy in music and pop culture. Under the visionary direction of Michael Jackson and producer Quincy Jones, Thriller not only defined an era but also redefined standards of excellence in the music industry. The Thriller album was a true game changer, blending a variety of musical styles, from pop to R&B, funk, and rock, into a cohesive set of songs that transcended cultural and generational boundaries. The Thriller music video, directed by John Landis, was a masterpiece of visual storytelling that elevated music videos to a new level of artistry. With its innovative special effects, elaborate choreography, and immersive cinematic atmosphere, The Thriller music video not only complemented the music but also enhanced it masterfully. The cultural impact of Thriller was overwhelming. The album sold over 66 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling album of all time. Additionally, Thriller won a record-breaking 8 Grammy Awards in 1984, including Album of the Year, further solidifying Michael Jackson's position as a musical icon. For Michael Jackson, Thriller represented the realization of his dream to leave a lasting impact on music and culture. He became the king of pop, a legendary figure who transcended stardom to become a global icon. The red jacket worn by Jackson in the Thriller video became an iconic symbol, and the dance moves from the video continue to be imitated and celebrated worldwide more than 4 decades later. The Thriller album not only catapulted Michael to global stardom, but also set a high standard for pop artists and musicians in general. Beat It is one of the most iconic tracks from Michael Jackson's Thriller album, released in 1982. Besides its infectious energy and iconic guitar riff, the song is notable for featuring a legendary collaboration with the renowned guitarist Eddie Van Halen. The partnership between Michael Jackson and Eddie Van Halen on Beat It was an unexpected collaboration that elevated the song to new heights. Van Halen, famous for his work as the lead guitarist of the hard rock band Van Halen, was invited by Quincy Jones, the producer of Thriller, to contribute a guitar solo to the track. Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo on Beat It is one of the most recognizable and influential in the history of pop music. His technical skill and explosive energy brought an entirely new dimension to Michael Jackson's music, adding a rock element and giving the track a sense of urgency and intensity.
Your word is mine. Okay, you're right. Just show your
The album Bad was highly anticipated following the tremendous success of Thriller. Although it was well received commercially, some critics argue that it did not reach the same level of innovation as Thriller. However, it contains a series of hits, including Smooth Criminal and Man in the Mirror. The Dangerous album marked a shift in Michael Jackson's musical direction, incorporating elements of hip-hop, new jack swing, and dance. The album features influential tracks, such as Black or White, Remember the Time, and Jam Invincible was the last studio album released by Michael Jackson in his lifetime. Although it received mixed reviews, the album still features notable tracks like You Rock My World and Butterflies. The controversy surrounding its production and promotion contributed to the narrative surrounding this album. Throughout his life and career, Michael Jackson was the subject of a series of controversies and personal issues that cast a shadow over his legacy as one of the greatest artists of all time. On several occasions, Michael Jackson publicly spoke about the challenges and traumas of his childhood, including allegations of physical and emotional abuse by his father. He described how Joseph Jackson was relentless in his demands for perfection and how this deeply affected his self-esteem and emotional well-being. One of the most persistent controversies surrounding Michael Jackson involved changes in his physical appearance over the years. Speculations about plastic surgeries and cosmetic procedures were widely discussed by the media and the public, fueling a narrative of distorted self-image and an obsession with youth that haunted Michael until the end of his life. Michael Jackson was the subject of intense speculation and discussion regarding changes in his skin color. His gradual transformation from darker to lighter skin sparked a series of theories and rumors, but the most widely accepted explanation is that Michael Jackson suffered from a medical condition known as vitiligo. Vitiligo is a skin condition characterized by the loss of pigmentation, resulting in irregular white patches on the skin. Although it is a relatively rare condition, affecting about 1% of the global population, Vitiligo can have a significant impact on the affected person's physical appearance and self-esteem. He publicly stated that he had vitiligo, and several medical reports and testimonies from people close to him corroborated this claim. He explained that, to create a more uniform appearance on his skin affected by vitiligo, he resorted to skin bleaching treatments to make his lighter and patchy skin resemble more closely the color of his original skin. However, Michael Jackson's transformation from a young black man with a more traditionally African-American appearance to a man with lighter skin and altered facial features led to widespread speculation and criticism. Many accused Michael of attempting to disown his racial heritage and deny his identity, while others saw him as a victim of the relentless pressures of fame and the entertainment industry. Another area of controversy was his relationship with children, especially following allegations of child sexual abuse that arose in the 1990s. The most notorious case was in 1993, when Michael was accused of sexually abusing a young boy named Jordan Chandler. Although Michael vehemently denied the allegations and reached a civil settlement with Chandler's family, the case cast a cloud of suspicion over his reputation and had a lasting impact on his public image. In 2005, Michael Jackson went to trial again, facing similar allegations of child sexual abuse involving another young individual. After a highly publicized and emotionally charged trial, Michael was acquitted of all charges. However, the trauma of the trial and the emotional and financial consequences that followed left deep scars on his personal life and career. In addition to the legal controversies, Michael Jackson also faced significant financial challenges throughout his life. Despite his immense commercial success, he accumulated substantial debts due to overspending and contractual disputes. While his life was marked by triumphs and challenges, Michael Jackson's untimely death on June 25, 2009, at the age of 50, was a moment of profound sadness for the world of music and beyond. His departure left a void in the music industry, but his legacy endures as a bright light that continues to illuminate the path for future generations. The official cause of his death was a drug overdose, including the powerful anesthetic propofol. His premature death shocked the world and left a void in the music industry. However, amid the sorrow and controversy, it is important to remember the profound impact that Michael Jackson had on music and popular culture. Michael Jackson was not just a talented musician, he was a visionary, a pioneer, and a change agent. His ability to blend different musical styles, his genius as a dancer, and his ability to tell stories through his music elevated him to legendary status. His legacy transcends genres and borders, touching the hearts and minds of people all around the world. He broke racial barriers, challenged conventions, and inspired millions with his art. His impact on the music industry is undeniable, and his influence can be felt in every beat, every dance move, and every note of his vast discography. But Michael Jackson's true legacy goes beyond his music. He was a dedicated humanitarian whose generous heart extended to social and philanthropic causes around the globe. His message of love, unity, and compassion echoes through his songs and his actions, inspiring others to make a difference in their own communities. As time passes, Michael Jackson's legacy remains intact. His music continues to be heard, his performances continue to be watched, and his influence continues to be felt. He may have passed away, but his spirit lives on through those he inspired and moved with his art.
Relax your on the floor, get around. 'Cause nothing to tell you once again who's bad. We are the children. It's the feeling. And make me feel. You really turn me. There's no one wants to be a genius like my love. She just said, "Yeah, you walking, when you tell us that you're walking." Then I saw out the window, then he said, "You're thinking about my baby. It don't matter if you're black or white." Remember the time when we got a lot. The way you talk to me, the way you.
Hit subscribe, drop a like, and stay tuned for more hidden histories exposed.